In this video, I'm gonna give you some ideas. We're gonna start with a flash, your phone, and we're gonna create these images. What's up, friends? My name is Pi. Welcome to SLR Lounge. This is my buddy, Kiara. She's gonna be modeling for us. We'll link her up so you can give her a follow as well. In my left hand, I have the ProPhoto A10, and in my right hand, I have a smartphone. I'm using the iPhone 12 Pro. ProPhoto has just released a new camera app that has some really cool features that we're gonna be playing with today. So what we're doing is a new minimalist challenge. Flash, phone, and a stand. We're gonna create some images, starting with this. This is our first scene. Mike, why don't you show them what it looks like? This craptastic scene is gonna be our starting place. Just to show you, you don't need a beautiful location. Having a great model though helps, definitely. But look, with the ability to actually control where our light is going, we have so much creative control that we can now pair with our smartphone. I'm gonna save why we would wanna do this for the end of this video, and I'll tell you because it has me really excited. For now, let's jump straight into this. I'm actually gonna start with just pairing the flash to the phone. As with everything ProPhoto, this is very, very simple. So Mike, why don't you come on in? Let's actually do this right here. Now, right here from the app, it's telling me that there's no light connected. All I'm gonna do is just power on my A10. Okay, and we're done. So syncing the flash to the phone is super simple. For your first time with any of these flashes, it's gonna say, do you wanna sync the A10? You say yes, and you're basically good to go. So the cool thing about this now is you'll notice that I'm gonna start with this new smart mode. And smart mode essentially allows us to really just focus on the creative aspects of shooting. I choose whether I want my effect to be natural, if I want it to be balanced, or if I want it to be dramatic. And then I can choose the warmth effect, whether it's gonna be more on the cold side, or it's gonna be more neutral or more warm. So let's just get the flash onto the stand and show you what these look like, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna place this right here. Okay, this is actually the MagMod cold shoe. It's my favorite little kind of cold shoe adapter for stands. It makes it really simple and easy to use. All I'm gonna do as well is I'm gonna use one of the click adapters. I have the click adapter in my pocket. I'm gonna use the dome to give me a slight bit of diffusion while kind of dispersing the light just a bit more. I also have the gel and the grid. We'll use those ones later though. Okay, so this is set up. I've placed Kiara in this spot where she's basically in the shade of this building. We're shooting the shade for several reasons. One, it's noon and it's really hot outside right now. Two, there's a lot of wind. So we're gonna use a smoke bomb for this first shot, and this will help this wall to the left and right will help with the wind. So let's take a shot first without the flash. So I'm actually gonna do this. Let's just power this off for one brief second so they can kind of see. Okay, Kiara, you're gonna scoot this way a little bit, right there, a little bit back. Perfect, right there. As with everything, I shoot with my phone the exact same way that I shoot with a dedicated camera, which is thinking composition first. And what I want her to do is kind of this nice wrapping pose, arms up and kind of leaning in. Kiara's a dancer, so we're gonna put her in kind of a dance pose, looking into where that light source is. So Kiara, show them what that's gonna look like. Perfect. Now, the one thing that I wanna adjust is I'm gonna move Kiara just a little bit to this side, because you'll notice that these lines right here, I want them to drop right into Kiara. So come back like 2 inches, right there. Perfect, now hop into your pose. That is the composition right there. Okay, so this is what it looks like with just natural light. And it actually kind of looks fun and cool and interesting already. What we're gonna do is power this on. What I like to do from here is actually have Kiara hold the pose, and I'll adjust the angle of the light, okay? So I'm gonna pull the light source a little bit this way, so that way when it lands on Kiara's face, we kind of have a nice little rampant light. Notice that it's also coming top down a bit. Kiara, you're gonna move this hand just a little bit to that side so the light doesn't kind of get blocked by your hand, okay? And then your chin can kind of go down to right here. Okay, so now I have the option of contrast effect. This is very much like our tutorials. You want a more natural look, you're gonna power down the flash and brighten the ambient exposure. You want a more dramatic look, you're gonna darken the ambient exposure and power up the flash. Only this is doing it all for you. So what I'm gonna do is actually pull this over to the dramatic side, and for our color, I actually want it to be a little bit on the cool side. I want this scene to have a little bit of a cool vibe. So Kiara, go ahead and hop into that pose now, and let's take the shot with flash and see what it looks like. Okay, that looks super cool. And if we actually compare that to the previous shot that was natural light, you can see there's quite a dramatic difference. The background got quite a bit darker. We highlight and bring Kiara's face out. Now, with composition, ambient light, everything ready to go, I'm gonna pop the smoke bomb, we're gonna shoot our shot for real, and I'm gonna change it out to a couple different colors, see what kind of looks I like best. Let's do that now. To make my life easy, I'm just gonna set my phone down on something. I just don't wanna go on the concrete because it's super hot right now. So let's just go ahead and set it right down there. That way I know exactly where my composition is. I can just grab the phone. I only get like 30 seconds on this, which is why we wanna get everything else set up. Now, this is the Enola Gay wire pull 40-second, or the WP-40. It roughly lasts around 40 to 60 seconds or so. And I have a separate video on smoke bomb safety, so please make sure you watch that video before trying stuff like this. Some basic considerations and things to have in mind when you're using smoke bombs. I'm gonna go ahead and place it right behind her. You ready, my friend? Why don't you hop into your pose? Okay, we're gonna pull, set it down, and start. Surprisingly, that went very much without hitch. We're going on to our next shot. Hope you guys liked the first one. Let's go on and find something else. All right, for our second image, let's do something super relatable. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot of Kiara. We're just in a room that could be anything that you might have in your home. It's just a white wall, a living room, whatever it might be. This is what it's gonna look like just straight with the natural lighting in this scene. It's not bad, but the natural lighting is kind of dark and we're reliant on it. So what we're gonna do is actually use the flash. I'm gonna bounce it up against the wall and we're gonna make this kind of white out. We're gonna essentially turn it into a studio setup really very easily. So let's go ahead and place the A10 right here. I'm gonna power it on. Okay, let's make sure it syncs. Now this go around, if you're looking at my phone, what I'm gonna do is actually switch this from smart over to classic. So in the classic view, I can have full control over the light and everything. So not only can I adjust flash power right here by taking this up and down, I can go over here to ISO, I can go to shutter speed, I can control everything right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave flash power, actually let's pull it down to like 8, just so it's not firing at full power. And what I'll do is I'll raise the ISO up to about 100. And I'm just gauging this based on kind of like eyeballing it. I'm not really, I don't really know where we're gonna land quite yet. I'm gonna take a shot right here. And then I can see that we need a little bit more power, right? So I have two options. I can power up the flash, or I can just go to ISO and maybe crank this up to like say 400 ISO. Since I do have more power in the flash and I'm not quite sure I want to be taking the ISO on my phone up all the way, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and actually turn up, I don't know what I'm doing, reaching over to the flash as if I can't control it. I'm old school, okay? I come from like the old days where we had to actually touch the flash. Now we don't have to do this. So I'm gonna bring this back down to 200 ISO. Let's take a shot right here. Okay, and that's a little bit bright now. So we're gonna go down to 100 ISO. I like it. Last thing I'm gonna do is make a little adjustment. So I'm gonna bring it back towards me. The only reason is I want this light to kind of fill out and widen out a little bit more, so it fills up more of the wall as it comes back and lands on my subject. Then I can kind of zoom into my crop right here. We're gonna zoom in right there, and I'm gonna go in a little bit tight for this first shot. There we go. That's crazy. Kiara, I want you to rotate the shoulder this way. So turn that, yes, just like that. I love that, and let's actually do the same thing, but actually towards the light now. Yes, just like that. Oh, I love that. You can see the natural light coming from the room and just how we're shifting the direction of light. I'm gonna go ahead and push the ISO up to 125. There we go. Perfect. Kiara, feel free to move freely with this now. Beautiful. I love it. Now I'm gonna flip my lens. Kiara, I'm gonna push you this way a little bit so I have a little more of the wall to work with. And now let's go a little bit more. We're cropping kind of at, yes, I love bringing the hands into it, everything. Let's get shapes with the body. Beautiful. I'll hold that right there one more time. Yes, just like that. Love it. That's it for the second setup. This one's super simple. Find a white wall to shoot against, a white wall to bounce off of, you're good. I'd suggest classic mode for this one. Dial in your ISO, your shutter speed, and the flash power to get the right look, and you're done. Let's go on to our third. Let's do shot number 3. We're in Santa Ana. We found this cool brick kind of hallway with backlighting that creates this really interesting texture on the brick. So I'm gonna go ahead and take just a standard natural light shot with the phone, right? We're gonna shoot right here. Because it's Kiara, it still looks like a good image. So Kiara, make it look worse. No, it's not working. You know what, that's fine, just look at me. Here's our natural light shot. Okay, so what I like about this scene is the brick leading lines into my subject. The thing is that I don't really want to see the background, the parking lot back there and everything, like the white. I want to block that out for the most part. I also want to exaggerate this a little bit. So what I'm actually going to do is have Kiara go into a low pose, so almost a squatting pose, Kiara. There we go. I'm going to bring the phone down. Now, if y'all follow me on TikTok or on Instagram, you will sometimes see me rotating the phone and bringing it down lower. It's not anything magic. It's the fact that the lenses are at the top of the camera. So you'll notice that this is the angle I can get basically with the camera right side up. This is the angle I can get with the camera against the floor. So rotating the camera or rotating the lenses simply as the lenses get closer down to the ground. The other nice thing about it is that sometimes even when I don't need to get all the way down low, if I rotate, I can actually take the shot with just one hand pressing the button like this, as opposed to trying to kind of shoot from right here and get down low and use 2 hands for the shot. So that's it. So what I'm gonna do is actually have Kiara extend a leg towards the camera. I'm gonna rotate this and we're gonna kind of get this composition down here, right about here. Now again, this is the natural light shot, and already this is a dramatic improvement from the last image. But the last thing that I want to do is actually add in the light. So this go around, let's go ahead and add in our A10. I'm gonna power it up. Let's go back to the camera. It says no light connected. Let's power this up. Okay. Now I'm gonna use a grid because I wanna funnel this light right into Kiara's face. I'm also gonna lower this down. I want it to be coming top down, but I don't need it to be this extreme of an angle. So what I'm gonna do is actually lower this a bit, right about to here, and I'm gonna bring over to this side. Kiara, show me where you're kind of the pose that you're gonna be set up into, and where's the face angle gonna be? There it is. So I'm gonna bring this just right about here. So that way the light is kind of giving me a nice Rembrandt light. It's reaching just to the other side of the cheek right there. And that's great, okay? Now, I'm actually gonna do one more thing. Aside from dropping the click filter and showing you just how durable it is, it's very durable. I'm gonna just pop this CTO gel on. So this is the half CTO. I'm gonna pop this right underneath the grid, and then I'm gonna place the grid over this. This is gonna shift the color of this light to an orange. And I'm gonna shoot so it's a little more cool in camera. And that way we're gonna get something that's a little more dramatic. She's gonna be nice and warm tone, but our background is gonna shift to blue. Okay, let's go back to this side. I'm gonna start with this, let's start by using the smart settings. I like this. We'll see if we can if I can get it dialed in exactly the way I want, then cool. If not, I'm gonna switch over. So I'm gonna go to a dramatic effect, and I'm gonna shift this to a cold effect on the warmth side. I'm gonna lower this down. We're gonna go right there, and let's take a look. Okay, so in this scene, we get an image that's a bit blown out, and it kind of makes sense because this is a pretty wild scene that we have going on here. So I'm gonna take over manual control of this. I'm gonna switch it over to classic mode, and we're gonna we'll leave flash power at 8. I'm gonna bring the ISO all the way down, and shutter speed, let's start at like 1/1000th of a second, and we'll kind of adjust from here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that down again. Okay, go right there. So now we get an image that's a bit too dark, right? I also noticed that I need to make it a little bit more cool because it's a little bit too orange for his skin tone. So what we're gonna do is bring the shutter speed down. It looked like it's roughly around 2 stops too bright. So I'm gonna go to 1/200 of a second, and then I'm gonna bring the temperature actually down to like 3600 Kelvin. And then we're gonna bring the tint up just a little bit so it's a little more magenta, okay? I love the fact that we have all of this control via the ProPhoto app. Okay, right there is great. Much better. Now it looks like, there we go, okay. Oh, that's wild. I can't believe we're getting that right out of the phone. That's crazy. Okay, so we have it all dialed in now. All we're gonna do is let's start getting the pose and everything just right. So, Kiara, you're okay squatting? Why don't you stand up and stretch the legs real fast and then come pop back down? Yeah, that's rough. Okay, when you're ready to extend, yep. And see if you can point the toe right towards the camera. So can you let the heel be flat? So like kind of flatten out there it is, right there. I know that feels super weird.
I don't feel, does it look good? Because I don't feel.
It looks good, it looks really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
This hand.
That hand, yeah, relax it across the leg, just like that, perfect. Okay, we're gonna center up. There it is, bring the chin down and over to the light a little bit, chin up a little bit, and then eyes towards me, right there. Yes, now move with it a little bit. Love that, love it. Oh, this is dope, I love this. So what we have here now is the skin tone being nice and warm, the background is sent to blue, the grid is controlling the light so it's landing really just on the face, and compare that to the natural light image. It's a world of difference. This is absolutely insane. Are you ready to see this? All right, look at this.
Oh, what?
With a phone and a flash.
Who is she?
Isn't that wild?
That woman?
That's you, my friend. So, I actually might take a few more shots since we're here, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the tutorial. Again, be sure to check out Kiara's work. We're gonna link her up so you guys can follow her as well. We're also gonna be posting all the links to the gear that we used for this tutorial. Hope it gave you some insights into the new possibilities. And I said earlier on that I would tell you why this has me so excited, because you're seeing the future of photography now. This is the next kind of transformation that's gonna come to the photography industry, which is the fact that all of our gear is being brought to us in ways that are becoming more and more simple, where it's just about your vision, not about the gear that you have. As you can see, we're getting really great results with just a phone, the A10, and a stand. So get out there, have fun, play with this. It's an amazing learning tool. It's a great tool for creativity, being on the go, creating no matter what. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.